You are now tuning in to Reclining at the Table with your host, Janita Knox.
The late, great boxing champion Muhammad Ali once stated that in order to be a champion, you have to believe that you are the best. If you're not the best, then you have to pretend that you are. But the thing about being children of the Most High God is that we don't have to pretend, we just are. So join me today as we unearth the champion inside of you. There is a champion inside each one of us. It is who we were designed to be, but somewhere along the way, you have stopped believing in the greatness within. Many people have been pre-exposed to see themselves as average or mediocre, and to do anything above that is almost a crime. In order to reach your full potential, you have to tap into the champion within, and we have to step outside of the safety net and make a choice to be great. The only thing that is standing in between you and the champion inside is the choice to believe that he or she exists. Choose to believe and become, or choose to not believe and remain. So what is a champion? What defines a champion? Champions are people who defeat or surpass their rivals in a competition. Champions are people that overcome challenges. They overcome difficulties. They overcome obstacles and opposition. They have a fighter's mentality, okay? And in order to do that, it takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes sacrifice. It takes late nights. It takes early mornings. It takes lots of training. It takes lots of studying. It takes all of those components in order to become a champion. In the words of Senyo Jindaya, champions don't give up, they get up. Champions are fighters. They have that fighter's mentality. I read another quote where it says, champions don't show up to get what they want. They show up to give all that they have. And the reason why that stood out to me is because champions, they already know what they're coming for. They're coming for that title. They're coming for that trophy. They're coming for that goal. But in order to get to that, they have to give it their all. So when I think about this, I think about a fighter's mentality. Champions are fighters. They have that mentality. You were created to be someone greater than you can ever imagine. You have purpose. You have a future. You have a destiny. You have a dream, but in order to fulfill that greatness, you have to become a fighter. You have to tap into the champion inside of you. You have to fight to become the champion you were meant to be. One day I was listening to Dr. Myles Munroe, one of the greatest teachers of all time. I love his messages and I love his insight and his wisdom. He's just a great teacher. But he said something in one of his speeches that I was listening to that shook me to the core. It made me reevaluate my life. He said, the wealthiest place in the world is not the gold mines of South America. It's not the oil fields of Iran or Iraq. They are not the diamond mines of South Africa or the banks of the world. He said, the wealthiest place on the planet is just down the road. The wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery, the graveyard. He says, you see, in the cemeteries, there are companies that were never started, inventions that were never made, best-selling books that were never written, and masterpieces that were never painted. In the cemetery is buried the greatest treasure of untapped potential. I realized right then and there that I did not want to die with untapped potential. Imagine this scenario. Imagine if you were given the opportunity to see what your funeral, what your burial would look like. Imagine you're sitting there, but you're watching yourself laying there, and the person gets up and says, here lies the untapped founder of such and such company. Here lies such and such, the untapped inventor of one of the greatest inventions that could have been. Here lies the untapped best-selling author of all time, or what would have been all time. Here lies the world-renowned untapped painter of masterpieces. When I heard Dr. Myles Munroe say this, it made me realize I have to fight for my dreams. I have to fight for my purpose. I have to fight for my vision. I have to fight for my future. I have to fight for my goals. But most importantly, I have to fight for me. Remember, the only thing standing in your way of becoming a champion is your choice to believe and become, or not to believe and remain. The champion in you exists. Don't be laid to rest with untapped potential. Give it all that you have. Give it all that you have. I made a quote on Facebook the other day that says, life gives you choices. You can give up, you can give in, or you can give it all that you have. Choose today to unearth the champion inside of you. Choose today to take on that fighter's mentality. Choose today to live full and die empty. Those are the words of Les Brown. Choose to live full and die empty. Once again, don't be laid to rest with untapped potential.
This has been Reclining at the Table. Join us next time with your host, Janita Knox.